I was dead. At least that's what Japanese Major Hiroshi Takada guaranteed in April 1943 when he put $300,000 on the table, a fortune in the midst of World War II, betting that no American pilot could master that twin fuselage monstrosity they called the P-38 Lightning. Impossible, he told German officials in Berlin. That machine kills more Americans than we do. He was almost right. Almost. My name is Richard Ira Bong, Dick Bong to my friends, son of Swedish farmers in Poplar, Wisconsin, 22 years old, blonde hair, boyish face, hands that smelled of cow's milk and tractor engines, and I was Major Takada's worst nightmare. But at that moment, trapped in the P-38 cockpit 12,000 meters above New Guinea, with the left engine on fire and 3 Japanese Zeros glued to my tail, I really thought Takada was going to win the bet. The P-38 was a monster. 2 Allison V-1710 engines, 2 fuselages, a central cockpit suspended like a glass coffin between them, difficult to fly. Even more difficult to survive when something went wrong, and something always went wrong. The left engine spewed red fire. The smell of burnt oil filled the cabin. My radio screamed static. The Zeros fired bursts that ripped through the air like chainsaws. I pulled the joystick. Nothing. I pulled again. The plane shook. The right fuselage began to spin. I was going into a spin. 12,000 meters, our military. 10,000. The Zeros followed me like vultures. That's when I remembered what my instructor, Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Lynch, had told me 3 months earlier, in March 1943, when I arrived in New Guinea. Bong, you're good, but the P-38 doesn't forgive. It'll try to kill you before the Japanese can. If you survive the plane crash, then you'll become a legend. I didn't want to be a legend. I wanted to go back home, marry Marge, the girl from Duluth who waited for me with letters every week, have children, plant corn, grow old. But first, I needed to not die. 9,000 meters, 8,000. I cut the left engine. I switched fire to fire. The P-38 stopped spinning for 2 seconds. Then it started to spiral downwards. The Zeros got closer, 7,000 meters. That's when I saw it. A cloud, dark, heavy, cumulonimbus, about 3,000 meters below. If I could get there, 6,000 meters. I pushed the stick forward, full throttle on the right engine. The P-38 growled like a wounded bull and dove. The Zeros fired. Glass shattered on my windshield. Shards of glass cut my cheek. Warm blood trickled down my neck. 5,000 meters. 4,000. The cloud. I went in. Total darkness. Turbulence that shook my bones. Lightning all around. Rain that hammered the metal like bullets. And silence. The Zeros didn't follow me. 3,000 meters. 2,000. I came out of the cloud. Below, dark green jungle, mountains, river. Above, empty sky. I was alive. But the left engine was dead. The right one was sputtering, low fuel. And I was 200 kilometers from base. That's when the radio crackled. Bong? Bong, are you still there? It was Captain Tommy McGuire, my rival, my friend, my greatest competitor in the kill race. I'm still here, Tommy. How many did you catch before you fell? I smiled, blood on my tooth. 2. Liar. 3. Silence. Damn it, Bong. You're not going to let me catch up to you, are you? I laughed. It hurt. Never. The right engine died. I was gliding. And that's when I realized. I wasn't afraid. I loved it. He loved the P-38. He loved the danger. He loved being alive when he should have been dead. And Major Takada? He was going to lose the bet, because I was going to take down all 40 of them. But what you don't know yet is that Takada wasn't betting alone. And the real prize wasn't money. It was my head. 6 months earlier, October 1942, Hamilton Field Air Force Base, California. I shouldn't have been there. I should be on the farm, milking cows, fixing tractors, helping my dad, Carl, who broke 3 ribs last summer when his tractor overturned. But war doesn't ask what you should do. It rips you from life and throws you into hell. And I enlisted. Not out of heroism, not for the sake of a flag. I enlisted because I couldn't stand by while my friends died in the Pacific. 3 of them had already fallen, in Papua, in Guadalcanal, in places I didn't even know how to pronounce. So I enlisted. I trained, I flew. And I discovered that it was good, very good. Too good to be true, according to Colonel Richard E. Elmendorf, commander of Hamilton Field, who almost kicked me out of the Air Force before I even went to war. That's how it was. It was a Saturday. October. Clear skies. I had just finished a training flight in the P-38. I was feeling confident. Maybe too confident. I saw Market Street in San Francisco. I saw the people, the cars, the bay, and I thought, why not? I went downstairs. 3,000 feet, 2,000, 1,000, 500. I drove close to the rooftops of Market Street at 400 kilometers per hour. People screamed. Cars screeched to a halt. A man fell off his bicycle. I went up. I did a loop. I came down again, this time even lower. I passed between 2 buildings, so close that I felt the wind hitting the walls. Then I saw her, a woman at a 3rd-floor window, red hair, blue dress, drying clothes on a clothesline. Our eyes met. For a second. Her eyes widened. She dropped her clothes. She screamed. I reversed the engine and went uphill. My heart was pounding like a machine gun. When I landed, Colonel Elmendorf was waiting for me. Red face, bulging veins. Bong! I got off the plane. I took off my helmet. Sir, you almost killed a woman. Almost, sir. But I didn't kill anyone. Wrong. Very wrong. He dragged me into his office. He yelled for 20 minutes. He threatened to kick me out, to send me back to the farm, to tell my mother I was a disgrace. Then, he stopped. He remained quiet. He looked at me. Bong, you're the best driver I've ever seen, but you're an idiot. Yes, sir. If I send you to war, you'll die in a week. Perhaps, sir. Or he'll become an ace. He sighed. He lit a cigarette. You're going to the Pacific, Papua, 5th Air Force, under the command of General George Kenney. And if you pull another stunt like that, I'll personally drag you back and hang you with my own hands. I smiled. Understood, sir. 3 weeks later, I was in Port Moresby, New Guinea. 50-degree heat, humidity that melted the skin, mosquitoes the size of birds, malaria, dysentery, a jungle that ate men alive, and Japanese people, many Japanese people. They controlled the north. We controlled the south, in between. Mountains, jungle, and death. The P-38 was our only advantage. Fast, strong, lethal, but it was tough, complicated, deadly if you made a mistake. In the first 2 months, I lost 6 friends. Not for the Japanese. Pro P-38, engine catching fire, loss of control, spin, fall. The plane was a killer. And me, I fell in love with him. I learned every cog in the machine, every flaw, every trick. I learned to turn off a dead engine before the fire spread. I learned to use the weight of the fuselages to perform impossible maneuvers. I learned how to kill. My first kill was in December 1942, 1-0, about Buna. I was on patrol, alone, cloudy sky. I saw him emerging from the clouds, below me. I got down, I aimed, I fired. A burst of 50 caliber ammunition, 8 seconds, 0 exploded. No parachute. I saw the pilot fall, a small body, spinning, screaming perhaps. Then he disappeared into the jungle. I should have felt something, remorse, guilt, but all I felt was emptiness, and then relief, because I had survived, and he didn't. When I got back to base, Tommy Maguire was waiting for me. I heard you caught one. I got. Good. Now you owe me a beer. Why? He smiled. Because I've already caught 3. That's where it all began. The race. Me against him. Who was going to knock down more? Who was destined to become a legend? But what none of us knew. It turned out that on the other side of the Pacific, in Rabaul, Major Hiroshi Takada was compiling a list with our names. And it's an award, $300,000. For whoever would kill us first. And whose name is at the top of the list? February 1943. I had 8 kills. Tommy Maguire was 10. I was losing, and that drove me crazy. Every morning, at 5 in the morning, I would wake up sweating. Not from the heat, from the dream, the same dream. I was in the P-38, falling, fire on the wings, And Tommy was up there, laughing, counting. 11, 12, 13. I know, pathetic, but it was war. And in war, your reputation is everything. If you're not the best, you're forgotten. And I didn't want to be forgotten, so I started taking risks, more time in the air, more patrols, more solo flights. My commander, Lieutenant Colonel Lynch, called me into his office. Bong, you're pushing it too far. I'm fine, sir. You've flown 19 hours in the last 3 days. Are you sleeping? Try. Lie. He knew. Look, I understand. You want to be the best. But if you die trying, it's all for nothing. I'm not going to die, sir. He looked at me, long, tired. Everyone who died here said the same thing. I didn't answer. Bong, Tommy is good, but you're better. You just need to stop competing with him and start competing with yourself. I left. I didn't hear. 3 days later, I almost died. It was an escort mission. 10 B-25s bombing Leh. 20 Zeros waiting. We were 8 P-38s. As chances, ruins. The fight began at 10,000 feet. Zeros diving, P-38 climbing. Chaos. I got stuck at a zero. Young, fast, good. We spin, we go up, we go down. Nobody got it right. 3 minutes, 4, 5. My fuel is running low, so he made a mistake. She turned around too early. She exposed her belly. I shot, burst, center, fire. He fell, 9 kills. But when I looked back, another zero, right behind me. Shooting, bullets tearing through my right side of the fuselage, glass exploding. I pulled, I climbed, I turned. He followed me, I got off. I sped up. He caught up with me. More bullets, more fire. The right engine started to malfunction. I was dead. Then, boom. Zero exploded. Pieces flying. I looked. Tommy Maguire, smiling, giving a thumbs up. He had saved me. Back at base, I gave my thanks. Thanks, Tommy. Relax. You would have done the same. I would. Silence. But now I owe you one. He smiled. Yes, and I will charge. It was that night that we found out about the bet. A Chinese informant brought the news. A document captured in Rabaul. List of targets. Names, values. My name was at the top. $300,000. Tommy was second. $200,000. Major Takeda was orchestrating everything, recruiting the best Japanese pilots, training them specifically to hunt us down. They want your head, Bong, Lynch said. Literally, there are orders to bring you back. Why? Propaganda. They want to prove that the P-38 is vulnerable, that you are not invincible. I looked at the paper, my name, in Japanese. Bong Bong. I should have been afraid. But I felt pride. Then I am valuable. You are a target. Same thing. Lynch sighed. Bong. They won't stop until they kill you. I smiled. Then I'll kill them first. And that's what I did. For the next 3 months, I will become a ghost. He flew alone, before dawn. He hunted zeros like a wolf hunts sheep. I learned their patterns, the routes, the schedules. I learned to wait, to attack from above, from behind, from the sun. 1 shot, 1 death. Efficiency. March, 4 more culling. April, 6 more. May, 8 more. 27 in total. I had overtaken Tommy. Is it Takeda? He increased the reward, $500,000. But he also made a mistake. He sent his best pilot after me, Captain Kenji Okabe, 17 kills. Pearl Harbor survivor, cold, precise, deadly. They called him the Falcon of Rabaul. And in June of 1943, he found me, and for the first time, I realized I could lose. June 12th, 1943, 6 in the morning, orange sky, low clouds, east wind. I was on solo patrol over the Dampier Strait, looking for targets. I found one. A zero, alone, flying low, too easy. I should have been suspicious, but I didn't suspect anything. I went down, I pointed. He turned around, fast, very fast. It went up, it spun around. It stayed on my tail. I accelerated. I went up. He followed me. I turned around. I went down. He glued it. 2 minutes. 3. Nobody was shooting. We just danced. Predator and prey. But who was who? Then he shot. Gust. Close. Very close. Bullets passing within centimeters of the cabin. I dove in. I accelerated. The P-38 groaned. He dove in too. We fell, 2,000 feet, 1,000, 500, 100 meters from the sea. I pulled. Hard, G-force, blurred vision, blood in the mouth. He pulled as well. We went up, parallels, and that's when I saw his face. Through the glass, 50 meters away, young, maybe my age. Dark eyes, focused. He looked at me. I looked back. For 3 seconds, we flew side by side. 2 pilots, 2 countries, 1 war. Then he smiled, and it accelerated. He went up. He turned around. He stood behind me. He shot. Bullets pierced my left side of the fuselage. The engine spewed smoke. I turned. I climbed. I tried to lose him. Impossible. He was stuck. He mirrored my every move. He knew every trick. It was like fighting with myself. 5 minutes. 10. My fuel is running low. The left engine is failing. I was losing. Then I remembered. The fake screw trick. Lynch taught me. Dangerous. Almost suicidal. But it was my only chance. I cut both engines. The P-38 froze. It began to fall. Turning. Screw. Okabe stopped shooting. He just stood there watching, waiting for me to fall. 2,000 feet. 1,000. 500. He started circulating. Victorious. 300 feet. I restarted the engines. Roar. The P-38 woke up. I pulled. Hard. G-force crushing me. Subi. Vertical. Okabe didn't expect that. He was above. With his back turned. I went up. I pointed. I shot. Cracked. 5 seconds. I hit the tail. The right wing. Fire. He began to fall, but it didn't explode. He was in control. He planned. It landed on the water. Gently. I walked around, observing. He got out of the cockpit. He sat on the wing. He looked up, for me. Without fear. Without anger. Just respect. He bowed. I made another one. Then a Japanese boat appeared. They rescued him. I left. 28 kills. But that one was different. Because for the first time, I saw the enemy as human. And that scared me. 2 weeks later, intelligence confirmed it. The pilot was Kenji Okabe. He survived. He returned to base. Is it Takada? He doubled the reward, $1 million. In my head. You've become their obsession, Bong, Lynch said. You need to stop. Go back home. Not yet. You've already proven your point. I haven't tried it. So what do you want? I looked at him. 40. What? I want 40 kills. The record. The number that nobody will break. You'll die trying. Maybe. But I'll die a legend. He shook his head. You're crazy, Bong. Yes. But I'm the best. And I was. July, 5 more culling. August, 4 more. September, 3 more. 40. 40 confirmed deaths. American record. Pacific record. The greatest ace of World War II. Is it Takada? He lost the bet. But he earned respect. Because he knew. I wasn't just a pilot. I was the devil in P-38. What about P-38? The machine that everyone said was impossible to master. I proved them wrong. It wasn't the machine. He was the pilot. But the war was not over yet, and the real test was still to come. December 1944, I was at home, Burbank, California. Far from the war, far from the P-38, far from death. I had married Marge in February, the girl from Duluth who waited for me, who wrote 346 letters, who prayed every night. We were happy. I was a hero, a medalist, my face on posters, America's greatest ace, but I didn't feel like a hero. I felt empty, because that's what war does. It takes you from your home, it transforms you. It gives you back what you want, but you're never the same. You killed. You watched friends die. You became a machine. And when the machine stops, what's left? I tried to go back to normal, to work, to smile, to pretend. But every night I dreamed, with the P-38, with Zeros, with Okabe, with the sky. I missed it, the adrenaline, the danger, the feeling of truly being alive. Marge knew. You're not happy, Dick. Yes, I am. No, it's not. You're here, but your mind is there. She was right. Then Lockheed offered me a job, test pilot, new fighter jets, new jets. It's safe, they said. Just tests, nothing dangerous. Lie, but I accepted. Because I needed to fly. August 6, 1945, Lockheed Air Terminal. I was going to test the P-80 Shooting Star, the first American jet fighter. Fast, modern, lethal. Marge was there. She didn't want me to go. Dick, I have a bad feeling about this. Everything will be fine. Please, don't fly today. I held her hand. I need, she cried. I should have listened. 10 in the morning, clear sky, calm wind. I got into the P-80. Takeoff, the feeling, freedom, pure, absolute. I climbed, I accelerated. The jet roared, faster than the P-38, smoother. I smiled. For the first time in months, I felt alive. Then, engine failure, without warning, without sound, just silence and fall. I tried to turn it back on. Nothing. I tried to glide. Impossible. Very fast, very heavy. I had two options. Eject or try to land. Below, houses, streets, people. If I ejected, the jet would crash into the city. It could kill families, children, like Okabe. Like the pilots I shot down. I could not. So I tried to land. 1,000 feet, 500, 200. The ground is coming. Fast, very fast. 100 feet, 50. I pulled. I tried to level it. 20 feet, 10, impact, fire, pain, darkness. I died, 24 years old. 40 kills, medalist of honor, the greatest American ace of World War II. Died, not by Zero, not by Takada, by jet, in peacetime. Cruel irony, 60 years later. Marge Bong, now 83 years old, was in Poplar, Wisconsin, at the inauguration of a memorial. Richard Ira Bong Veterans Historical Center. Veterans, families, children, everyone there to remember, from the farm boy who became a legend. Marge spoke. Dick wasn't a hero because he killed 40 enemies. He was a hero because he believed it was worth fighting for what is right, even when he was afraid. Even when the odds were impossible. She held up a photo of him, young, smiling, next to the P-38. He once told me, "Marge, if I die, don't cry, because I've lived more in 24 years than most people live in 80. Tears. He was right. But here's what you don't know. In 2003, 2 years before the memorial, a package arrived at Marge's house, from Tokyo. Inside, a letter, in English, shaky handwriting. Ms. Bong, my name is Kenji Okabe. I was a Zero pilot. I fought against her husband in 1943. He was the best. I knew that the moment we faced each other. I survived the war. I lived to be 82 years old. I had children, grandchildren. And every morning, I thank him. Because on that day, he could have killed me. But he chose to let me live. That is honor. That is humanity. Her husband was not just a warrior. He was a good man. Please accept my eternal respect. Kenji Okabe, Marge cried, and he realized. Dick didn't win because he was the best driver. He won because he never lost his humanity, even in hell. I died in 1945, but my story is not dead, because it's not about how many you take down. It's about why you fight, and who are you fighting for. I fought for Marge, for my friends, for the boy I was on the farm. And yes, I loved flying. I loved the danger. I loved being the best, but not the end. What matters is not how many zeros I knocked down. That's how many lives I've protected. What about P-38, the impossible machine? I proved that there are no impossible machines, only pilots who give up too early. Now tell me, if you had to choose between living safely or living intensely, what would you choose? Because I chose intense, and I don't regret anything. If this story touched you, if it made you feel something, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because next week, I'm going to tell you about the German pilot who saved an enemy American bomber. And you won't believe the reason until then.